life. So sometimes people know where they want to begin. They have a pressing issue in their life and they jump in right there. And we work with that the whole time. Sometimes it weaves into what happens in childhood, what's happening in career, job life, personal relationship. I see everything that we do as part of the divine human experience. So anything, everything is welcome. A lot of times in the first session, I be with you with empathy and compassionate listening. So often it's you getting to share a lot while I take in your story and just the radiance of your aliveness and reflect back to you what I'm hearing to see how that is or is not true for you so we can get clearer and clearer about what's happening. So we're building awareness as well as building relationship and allowing me to sink into a greater knowing of you. From that place, I might ask you questions to help clarify. I might ask you questions that may be intended to shift or poke at different things to see what else might be there. You're always welcome to say no or change anything I suggest. Possibly in the first session, I'll get into an experiential mode if you're open to doing art or body movement if the subject seems to welcome that. And again, you can say, oh, I don't really feel comfortable drawing, but I would do this, or whatever is right for you. Anything I offer is really a gift. And it doesn't even mean it's the right one, I'm guessing. So, and then everything's confidential here. So what you say and share and how you are just will stay here. And do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Okay. To begin, some people like a few moments of silence if they're rushing in or they want to center. Some people prefer some stretches or a guided meditation. Some people are ready to go and they jump in saying this is what's on my heart, and just speak what's happening. So there's other options too, but is there any way of beginning this sacred time together that would feel good to you?
Sure. Grounding sounds wonderful.
Okay. Would you like me to lead a grounding exercise?
That would be great.
Yeah, grounding to the earth and presence in this place. Something else? Anything else?
Sure.
Part of that grounding? Or
sure, clarity, and maybe just allowance of whatever wants to arise.
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll lead that for a few minutes and I'll be in that.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. Our body is sustained by many things. So I like to begin with the breath, work our way to grounding and just awareness of how the breath is in this moment. It gives us an indication of where the body, mind, spirit's at. Simply observing first. No need to judge or change it. To observe the rhythm, speed of the breath. Perhaps noticing the temperature of the breath, the depth of the breath. Anything else that's noticeable. And then beginning to deepen the breath. Inhaling more deeply into the abdomen as it expands, widening the lowest part of the lungs. And exhaling more slowly, more completely. And exhaling letting the nervous system know that they're with it to shift to our great communion with all, the ease of being connection. And bringing the awareness down from the torso, down the legs into the feet. Noticing where each toe connects down beneath the earth, supporting us. Balls of the feet and the heels. And every cell of the foot having a place to rest. Perhaps welcoming any information back from the ground, the earth, about how it's holding you, what it has for you, what it has for us. Letting that charge, that power connect from the earth to our body, from the feet all the way up to the crown. And coming to the heart center, the middle of the lungs, a place we can ask for and welcome in clarity. And tenderness and support, or whatever arises, whatever that as it flows in us and through us. Good. Can leave it there. We have a time for a few more deep breaths here. If there's anything you want to name, say, or ask, it's welcome. And we can just breathe in silence. Whenever you're ready, you can let the eyes flutter open. Bringing in eyesight to this physical presence.
It's very relaxing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm feeling held and supported, very open.
We are here being held.
I join you in that open.
Feet, our lungs, our hearts, our whole beings are here.
Mm-hmm. They are. Yeah, in that in that there were a couple of things that arose inside of me. I came to this not really knowing what to work on, or, like, it's interesting how a couple of days or a day even passes and how so much changes. And think some things that I would like to vocalize is um, what has arose for me and that I'm working on, and that is truly being me unapologetically, and how to coexist in a household where other vibrations and influences and interactions, um, I can keep that, I can hold that true self within that. And so that's kind of one thing that I guess, like, I don't know, to put it in simple terms, like keeping my own vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being able to maintain that with whatever happens in my world.
Yeah.
And another thing that came up for me was control, working on control and working on letting go of. Um, my partner recently went to be with some family members for support, and I'd been like, oh, I plan on coming home, and so, I it was really, I packed him a lunch and sent him on his way, and then I felt like, well, what can I do? What more can I do to help? And that was really just to be and to sit and to be available, and not necessarily sit. I ended up cleaning the whole house because I felt like, that urge to do something. And it got later and later in the day, and I kind of, I reached out to see where things were and wasn't sure if he was coming home. And it got later and later, it's starting to get into the early hours. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna call again and just check in and see where that's at, and letting go of that expectation of the words that were said before, of like, oh, I plan on being home, and just allowing that to let go. And as I did, I started noticing these thoughts coming into my head, all these thoughts of, I would relate with, like, fear and insecurities, and, oh, what if, this, or what if that, and really having to go through the process of checking in with myself and having positive affirmations, like, I am at home, I am loved, I am supported, he is with his family, he is loved, he is supported, and trusting. So trust was a big one. Trust, patience, and letting go of control. Yeah, really came up for me strongly that night.
I hear that particular night there was fear about, like, what's happening, what should I be doing, is he doing okay things, and then the counter of that, trusting that it was all okay to work out, and you used affirmations to get you back into a mode of trust. And the patience connected to expectation. He said he'd be home later, and he wasn't home, so having to shift expectations, stretching out patience, and um, control. What did you want control?
Hmm. So that's interesting. I think the control comes from not wanting it, like protection, and protection of my heart, protection of my feelings, protection of, not wanting to feel pain or hurt. So when the negative talk comes in, or the doubt and the fear of, like, oh, hurt, or I think there was even a core of some essence of abandonment rising up for me. Yeah, so it started to, like, sink from something current and just sinking a little bit deeper into, like, wow, what is this? Where is this really coming from?
Yeah.
And not only in this relationship have I experienced these thoughts and feelings and happenings, it's been a pattern. And so I know it's not a like it's not necessarily a partner, it's something within inside of me.
Am I hearing you right that in this particular case, your partner said he'd be home and maybe gave you a time frame, you had an expectation about when that would be. And so when that time passed, the doubt came in of like, if he's not home, am I being left? Or the sense of hurt being, I'm hurt because I'm being let down, because I can't trust, or because this one time that he's not going to fall through on his word, basically, um, can open that crack, like open the door to what if this starts happening more? What if he doesn't come back? What if it's because he's pulling away from me? So it goes from one isolated case into something that can be comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that goes down to that trigger of like you could be abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, and that's happened with other partners. So there's like some deep inner as well. Being abandoned.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't think I've ever been like just truly abandoned to the point, but there is that sense of, and it stems, I think, from childhood. I know where it stems from, childhood, and my father as well. So it's a masculine person in my life, and so tending to have these insecurities with masculine partners in my life, not so much with the feminine.
So it's directly connected to your father because of where it showed up with masculine partners. And were you aware as your brain started spiraling from the thought of like he's not coming home on time to what if he's abandoning me? When did the awareness come in that like, whoa, I'm going down? Your hand was like this, I'm going down into a trigger place. Did that come after?
Sure. So I would say it came, I would say after, like in my mind, there was no time specified. So there wasn't like at 8 o'clock, I'll be home type thing, which I think the control part would have loved for me to hear, like, I'll be at home at 8 and he arrived at 8 or before and everything. And in my world and my perception would be like, oh, great, I'm relaxed and all is well. And that's not the case. That's control. That's not for me. And I realize that's not reality, and life flows and happens. And so the trigger happened, I would say once I felt a certain time of like, it was 9 and I was putting my daughter to bed, telling her good night. And then so after that was done, I was kind of like, okay, like, it's getting later, and I generally go to bed by 10, and so I just kind of reached out, and that's when it was like, okay, I was also concerned too, due to his well, he stopped drinking when we met, and there's been a few times where it's gone back, where it's gone back to habit, just for like a night or a moment. And I was worried. So worry came into, I was worried like, maybe he'll have a drink, and then, that might lead to this, which might lead to this, which might lead to this. And then, kind of went down that rabbit hole. So there was a sense of like, I'm not going to be there with him to actually see what is happening. So the unknown was, really, I think, what sparked a lot of the kind of anxiety that I was having.
Yeah, unknown sparks anxiety for a lot of people, because it's even less control of even planning for what might be coming up. So thanks for sharing that added piece. It's both like you put your daughter to bed, so in a way you did have, human loss, temporary in that moment. You were alone, and your brain thoughts starts to open, and then also you're thinking about what could potentially be happening instead of fear. And while you were spiraling down, um, were you having any counter talk? Or I know you do coaching yourself. Were you doing in your coaching at that point too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really sat with it. Like I was laying in bed and just really feeling it. And it's like I came to the awareness of like, okay, this can go on and spiral into this like, all right, where is he? I'm getting upset. Why hasn't he called me? And then going into like blame and shame and all of that. And which has been a pattern that I have taken, have had myself, and realized like, okay, I can go that route, or I can do something because I know where that route goes, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So I was aware enough to stop that and be like, okay, what is this? What
Mhm.
is this really? Like, why am I having these like sensations in my chest? Why is my brain going to like to this? And then that's when I just sat with it and felt it, and then realized, like, oh, aha, affirmations, like just affirming, like, where I'm at. I am home. I am safe. I am in my comfort zone. I, and then, like, why do I feel like I don't want to be here? Like, I think, and then it was like, oh, well, I don't want to feel like I'm like just tied down waiting. Like, that's,
Mhm.
like, that's and I'm not.
Yep.
So why am I even thinking that?
Uh-huh.
Like I'm free to do
Yeah.
whatever. I don't have to be in the house. I don't have, there's no have to anywhere. It's all a choice. And so that was comforting to me to come to terms with. And then realizing like, for him, kind of having those affirmations for myself for him as far as like, he loves me. He is love. He is with loved ones. He's in a time to where I trust that he's doing what is necessary for him at that moment. And taking the positiveness and just reassuring myself that, you know, it wasn't anything to worry about. And the big piece is trust there, trusting in him.
Yeah.
Uh, and trusting in myself.
Mhm. Mhm. Totally.
Yeah.
Where in this process, which sounds beautiful, like this beautiful unfolding of awareness, body awareness, like this having it in my chest, and then some, maybe even like self negativity, like I don't want to be feeling this, but then acceptance, right? Like,
Totally.
okay, I am. What do I need? Go, finding your way through it and realizing you're not trapped and thinking about who he's with, and can worry about people legitimately, but also how big is the story compared to the situation. So you're going through all these things, and it sounds like a beautiful unfolding. And what about it, if anything, are you wanting to be different? What are you hoping for when you say, "Oh, I wish I had this different, that different"? Hmm.
I think to be able to hold the compassion and trust always, even when those moments of doubt come in. And maybe that night was the beginning of what's to come with that. Um, to have complete trust and patience, and knowing that, like, I think for me, there's always this knowing of, with a partner of like, oh, there sabotage at any moment.
Yeah,
We're all
for
human.
real.
We're all human, and we all have that choice to,
Mhm.
to be with or to not be with,
Yeah.
or to hold that or to not hold that. So I think like just maybe letting go and being at peace with whatever that may be.
Am I guessing in the same realm as what you're talking? I'm wondering if the feeling of your chest of fear and triggering and distrust, um, it was too long or too strong or overriding your ability to touch base with the peace or the comfort, the love. Is that because
I would say that's
okay.
right on.
Okay.
It's so intense.
Okay, it was intense. Okay. I have an idea.
Okay.
If you'd like to or be interested in doing a Play-Doh exercise with this.
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love exercises.
Yeah. Um, anytime in this that you want to stop, you can just say, I'm done, or set it aside. There's no ever obligation to continue, but it's something to experiment with. I'm really into experimentation in life to see how we feel and what happens. So I have two colors here. I'm wondering if one of these colors would work for you to mold, shape in any way. It can be abstract. The feeling that was in your chest.
Okay.
Would you want to try?
Yeah. Color to choose. I think I'm gravitating towards pink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can work with that and um,
Okay.
it can you can make a literal symbol. It could just be abstract, but if you want to revisit that place a little bit to tap into it where you're warming up, we can welcome the body and the mind to remember that moment of putting the daughter to bed. Partner's still not home. It's after 9. And what if he's out drinking again? What if this is going to spiral into something unmanageable? What if your anger or hurt is going to sabotage things? You have these thoughts, words that you've named that contributed. Other partners, male partners, there's been difficulty. Just even your dad and how he let you that all commingling chest. Whenever you've got a sense of the remnants of that, or maybe even current present arising of that. Yeah. Is it there a little bit?
It's there.
Do you feel a little bit?
I do.
So, yeah, you can work the clay as you want, or you can strengthen that feeling. If you want to speak some of your words aloud, or if you want to just open your eyes and form, whatever.
It's interesting what's arising for me. A lot of it stemming from being a child and having my father drink and go to the bar and drink and leave my sister and I at home. And we would call and see where he was. He'd be like, oh, just one more and I'll be home. Just one more and I'll be home. And before you know it, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and he was just stumbling in. And we were pretty much raised that way every other weekend that we got to see him. And, like, it's interesting that I don't hold any like ill will towards that. It's kind of like, oh, and I noticed he was going through a hard time with the divorce with my mom, and that was his coping mechanism, and that's the life he chose to live for a long time. And then so I remember when I was little, when my mom and dad were getting a divorce, I remember my mom sneaking around the corner to a different house, and like she would stop by every now and then and there would be this guy there. Well, later after they got the divorce, she got with that guy, and that guy was my dad's best friend. And so seeing that at a really young age, I think right there was betrayal. And I knew something wasn't right, so being exposed to that and then watching my dad kind of unfold the way that he did, um, uh, was, I think I had empathy and sympathy for my dad even at a young age. So there was a part of that where it was like, oh, it's allowed. And then there was another part of my child that was, my inner child that was like, my dad, where's my dad? Where is he? And he showed up, in ways of money, in ways of candy, in ways of obsessive TV watching. And so I would say avoidance. There was a lot of avoidance there, which, I feel kind of stems in a lot of my, if, well, I don't know if they're abandonment issues, but in that feeling that arises of maybe, to put a label on it, abandonment, or that sharp pain in my chest and that like frantic, where you at? Here's the ball, and there it is on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear the whole story about the pain in your chest is about your dad, and it got sparked by your partner,
Yeah.
possibly drinking, which was one of the symptoms of your dad's pain.
Mhm.
So that like deep wound of like you weren't seen and really held in this intimate way.
Mhm.
And as much as we can have empathy as kids and as adults, and as much as we can cognitively say, well, that makes sense. I know he loved me, but he was just going through something. Like you said, that part of your child self is going, "Ah, but this isn't the love I want. It's not the connection I want."
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, for
The
sure.
hurt.
Yeah, the hurt. And I'm wondering if in my adult life, that's what I've been when I've had a masculine partner grasp for. It's almost like grasping, feeling of grasping, wanting control of like, here, be with me, let's do this together, let's move together, let's make decisions together. And, you know,
The companionship your dad wasn't able to offer you, besides like candy and TV and physical ways of kind of seeing like, I'm hurting, but here's some love. But like to be, he wasn't there like fully open. And so you're wanting a masculine partner to step in and say, like, I can do that with you. I can journey with you. I can be fully available, present, trustable, intimate.
yeah,
And so when it's at risk, when there's a potential that it's not coming back home,
yeah, it's just like, okay.
I want this. I need this. My I've been longing for this
Yes.
my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Mm. And I would say in as a whole, I have that. And recognizing that I have that, and recognizing that, like, we all have our stuff that we're going through, and we are all available and not available at times. And that is not when we're not available, it's okay. It's not the end of the world for me. Wow, I'm learning a lot about myself. Well, this is the shape that I ended up making.
Do you want to tell me about it?
Sure. I mean, I think it resembles my heart for sure, and my chest where all of that stuff gets held.
Uh-huh.
Just
Is it like the
kind of,
crinkly sort of stuff on the top?
yeah, it's the crinkly stuff on the top, and like how it's just like kind of an explosion. It's kind of, I don't know, it's dense. It feels really dense to me, and it feels very like crevicey and many different folds, many different, I don't know, just almost like I just feel like, like
Like it's thick
it's
or
thick.
complex?
Yeah,
Or just thick.
and dense.
Dense.
Yeah.
Like wadded up in there.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And as we're talking about it, I can kind of like feel it start to rise. Like it's just like maybe this like kind of explosion and just like this release.
Yeah, the energy is like moving up and yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling it kind of like right in here and like the lymph nodes right now, and maybe in like the back of my throat. Um, so it's moving, and this feels a little more tingly and not so concentrated, but it's kind of like spreading, um, disbursement kind of sounds right.
Mhm.
Hmm. And some more clarity within here is it's happening. There's light. I'm sensing like radiance within the center, like the core of it.
Is there any way you want to energy and movement or wherever?
Yes, to be with it sounds nice. How I'm not sure.
Um, option can just be breathing and observing the mind's eye, the big world's eye, the big love's eye. Or we might actually cup our hands around, offering it some physical warmth or vibration of touch, just witnessing. Or we might hum or sing and shake it up, vibrate. I don't know if it's open to that. It seems to me, it feels more tender to me, but I don't know how it feels for you.
Yeah. At first I was thinking like comfort came to mind, like comforted or comforted, imagining that I was really tiny and held in hands.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I'm kind of feeling like maybe some movement be nice, just to kind of just shake it a little bit, kind of maybe dislodge any of the sticky pieces.
Maybe we can invite any of the pieces that are ready to go.
Yeah.
And we can be tender and comforting to the others that need to stay for now.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Turning the head from side to side. I saw you shaking shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder what it might be like to stretch the chin way out. Give it space, air.
Oh, that feels good. Just to let that right. To let that part go. I've been holding on to that for so long, it feels like. Mm. Oh. Oh.
Sounds lighter.
Yeah, it is lighter. It's like just let it go. Just let that piece just went away. Um, Feel like laying on the earth will be really good for me. Let that continue to, I mean, it's releasing right now, and to continue and let the earth.
Are you ready to transition to that now? Like wrap up our session and move on? Or are you just noting that that's something you'll do later?
I think so. I think I can really bask in this for a while, so we might be here for a while. So I think, yeah, I'm ready to hold that and make space for that. That sounds good to wrap things up. And
Yeah. I think going with that feeling and taking all the time that you possibly can as a parent to yourself to bask in it and let it finish its work. Good. So we can move into closing. That sounds good.
yes, that does.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say or to wrap up this time?
Yeah, I'm feeling much gratitude for this time and space shared with you, and myself. And I'm feeling my heart being open and supported in this moment. Feeling very thankful for that.
Feel the openness present in the room, the authenticity and depth of your being. Just that great love that you've talked about flows through the whole world as you journey. I will be holding that in my heart for you today. I'll probably be imagining you in the earth, joining you in that way. Ever further movement wants to happen with your witness and companion.
Thank you.